Dear students, hope you are well and fine. You are doing good in your home. I really wish you are there in the class doing the live class, and I hope you are fine. So today we'll be discussing chapter 13. Why do we fall ill? So illness doesn't necessarily means that we are suffering from some kind of disease. That could also mean that we are unhealthy. Means what? We are not in a good health. So unhealthy and diseased. Unhealthy. When somebody is not in a good health, we tend to say it's unhealthy. Now what is a good health, or what is a health? What is health? What do you mean when it's a good health? Does it mean we have a big and giant body? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. So health means social, mental and physical well-being. Means what? When a person is fit physically, means what? He can do what he wants to do. Suppose when we say, when somebody says his grandmother is not healthy, not in a good health, means what? She cannot do what she is supposed to do, right? She want to run, she want to jog, but she cannot do. Her body doesn't permit her to do, right? That means what? She is not physically healthy. So that comes under health. Mental health. So you have seen a lot of people who are always under certain depression, right? Who are under depression, who are filled with anxiety, who had worries, right? Who have worries, who cannot concentrate on their activities, right? Means what? They are not mentally healthy. They are not mentally sound, right? They have certain worries and anxieties in their mind. So we cannot say that they are mentally healthy. Physical well-being. Physical well-being we have discussed. Now it is social well-being. Now what is social well-being? Social well-being means what? You have to have a good relation with the society. We have to have a good relation with your people surrounding you. Take a criminal for example. He doesn't have a good social reputation. He doesn't have a very good social interaction. So he is not socially healthy. So when we say a person is healthy, we say a person is healthy when he is physically fit, when he is mentally fit, and when he is socially fit. When a person has fitness of all these three criteria, then we say that a person is healthy. Okay, I hope you have understood what is healthy. It is, health is different from diseased, right? Okay, now how health and disease is related. Suppose a person is suffering from fever, right, or cold. So when a person is suffering from cold or fever, he will be physically unfit, right? He will be not mentally, he will not be sound enough, right? So he will be unhealthy. So when we are diseased, this criteria or these factors are affected, and so we are unhealthy. We are termed as unhealthy. But when we are unhealthy, that doesn't necessarily mean we are diseased. But when we are diseased, then we tend to become unhealthy. Okay, now the next part is personal health and community health. Personal and community issues. Yeah. Now, what are the personal and community issues that plays a role in maintaining a good health? We all know that health is a state of physical, mental and social well-being. So if we are living in a surrounding, where people are not good enough, right? Where people are not cooperative enough, where violent people tend to live around you. Your environment will where people do unsocial activities, right? Our environment will be unhealthy, right? Because this will influence our life. So we will become unhealthy because we are living in an unhealthy environment. Similarly, if we live in an environment where there is which is not hygienic, right? Where cleanliness and other factors are not taken into are not given much importance, right? we will also live in an unhealthy environment, because we can catch certain diseases from that unhealthy environment. Okay, so consider an area where there is an open drainage system, or where there is a dump yard, and nobody is taking care of this drainage system or this dump yard. So it will ultimately it will give rise to an unhealthy environment, and disease will tend to grow here. So, and community issues, so these are community issues, right? A drainage system, a dump yard, these are community issues. So if all the community issues are not met, then we will have an unhealthy environment. Similarly, take for example an area where there is a clash, where there is always an sensitive where people tend to fight, or people tend to clash on sensitive issues like communalism, racism, right? So if you live in an area where people are very much quarreling with each other due to on some communal issue, or some social issues, or some racial issue, right? So this environment is also not healthy. So in order to have a good health, we also need to live in a good environment. If our environment is healthy, our personal health will also be healthy, and the environmental health also have a key effect on our personal health or the community health. Okay, now healthy and disease free. Now what is healthy and what is disease free? I have already mentioned social, mental and physical. If all these three criteria are fit, you are healthy. But what is disease free? Disease free means what? When your body work at ease, right? When your body work at ease, when your body doesn't get any kind of discomfort, right? Disease means disturbed ease. Disease is also termed as is also explained as disturbed ease. So when your ease of working, when your ease of functioning is disturbed, then you are diseased, right? Take for example, when your body normally function in a certain way, when this functioning is disturbed, then we are diseased. Suppose your kidney, right? Your kidney is meant to filter out the waste from your body. So when the functioning of your kidney is disturbed, you are diseased, right? When you're breathing is disturbed, right? You are diseased. So there are certain things that may disturb your breathing, right? And you are feeling difficult in breathing, then you are diseased. Okay. Now, what are the causes of disease? Cause of disease. Now, disease is not caused by, a single factor is not responsible for a disease to occur. There are certain factors that are responsible for disease. This factor include some pathogens, right? The way of your life or your lifestyle, your surrounding. So there are multiple factors that are responsible for disease. Now consider two individuals, A and B, right? Consider two individuals, A and B. So individual A has a good lifestyle. That means what? He have healthy and balanced diet. Healthy and balanced diet. His surrounding is clean and he has access to clean water. But same is not in the case of individual be. Now, who do you think tend to get affected by disease faster? Obviously B, because when he doesn't have a healthy diet, his immunity is not as strong as individual A. When he has no clean environment, means what, his environment will have environment will be more disease prone. When he does not have access to clean water, he will be more vulnerable to disease. Okay, so there are so many factors that are responsible for disease, not just the organism. Yes, organism is also a factor, right? We see there are virus that causes disease, there are bacteria that causes disease, there are protozoas that causes disease, there are worms that causes disease, but we'll discuss this everything in the later part of the chapter. Now okay, acute disease and chronic disease. Acute disease and chronic disease, right? There are 2 points: acute disease and chronic disease, and chronic disease and poor health. We'll cover this both point in this. Now, what are acute disease? Acute diseases are those diseases which tend to be over, which tend to be recovered, or which tend to cure within a short period of time. That means what, the individual that have an acute disease, he will be cured within a very short period of time. Whereas chronic disease are those diseases that take much more time, that take long time to get cured. An example of chronic acute disease may be common cold, flu, influenza, and an example of chronic disease may be jaundice, right? Or it may be tuberculosis. That may be an example of chronic disease, because these diseases take longer time to get cured. Now what, okay, since acute disease take very short time to get cured, so this doesn't have much impact on our health on a long term. While we are diseased, we'll have certain symptoms, we'll have certain effect on our health, but as soon as we are cured, we'll recover from all those symptoms and all those effects. But chronic disease, on the other hand, might have a long term effect. Suppose a person suffering from tuberculosis, before suffering from tuberculosis, that person may be healthy, he might have a very good health, right? He might have a very good weight in his body, but after suffering from tuberculosis, the person reduces weight, right, due to the effect of that chronic disease, the effect of tuberculosis. The person has reduced its weight. So it might happen that the person may not be as healthy as he was before disease for a very long term, right? This will be this chronic disease will have a long term effect on his body, right? And he not be as mentally stable as he was before the disease. So these are some so chronic disease have an intense effect on poor health. That means what, when we suffer from chronic disease, our health get affected for a significant amount of time. Now let's discuss infectious and non-infectious disease. And non-infectious. Infectious and non-infectious. Infectious disease are those diseases. Infectious disease are those diseases that in which certain microorganism plays a part in it, or certain organism plays a part in it. That means what, the disease that are caused by either bacteria or virus or worms or fungi or any kind of organism are termed as infectious disease. The non-infectious disease are those disease which does not involve any kind of external entity or pathogens, right? That are caused by disorientation in our body functioning, right? When our body doesn't function well, we can have non-infectious disease, right? When our lifestyle is not healthy, we can have non-infectious disease. An example of infectious disease may be, common cold is an example, right? And it may be some other example. It may be malaria is an infectious disease, or you can say typhoid, this kind of thing. An example of non-infectious disease is like diabetes. So when do we have diabetes? When our body is unable to maintain the amount of blood sugar level, right? Then we tend to have diabetes, right? So diabetes does not necessarily have the impact of any kind of external or any kind of microbes. It is just due to the malfunctioning of our own system, right? So we have suppose high blood pressure. So when we have intense amount of fats in our blood vessel, so we have high blood pressure. Or when we have anxiety, we have high blood pressure. This does not include any kind of microbes or any kind of disease causing pathogens, right? So non-infectious diseases are those diseases that occurs as a result of malfunctioning of our body or malfunctioning of our system, whereas infectious disease are those diseases that occurs as a result of microbes and other organism. So this today we will discuss up to this, and if you have any confusion regarding any of the point which is discussed in today's part, you can leave your question in the comment section. Inshallah I'll answer your questions, and you also read this chapter, right? What I have discussed, you also read this chapter, and if you have any doubt, you will mention in the comment section, and you also try to read the chapter which I have not discussed, so that while I discuss tomorrow or in the next class, it will be easier for you to understand that chapter. Okay, so I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are doing fine. With this, I'll conclude my class. Have a good day.